What's up, y'all? So we are live again with another episode of For Trendsetters Only, and we're gonna talk about how Chick-fil-A fumbled the bag because Chick-fil-A fumbled the bag. I mean, they fumbled it and they just let it keep going and rolling down the steps and off a cliff because Mary the Siren, that's her handle on TikTok, she got a deal with Shake Shack. And Shake Shack, I decided that they're now going to be called Shade Shack because this was probably one of the pettiest marketing things I have ever seen, like from a restaurant, at least for a long time. Like I remember how Burger King always like trolls McDonald's. Who else is petty? Another petty restaurant. I think Wendy's is pretty petty too when it comes to like their social media. But anyway, so if y'all are not aware, first of all, my name is Jada West. I am a brand outfitter, I'm an influencer, trendsetter, and I come on here and I help you guys monetize your creativity. We talk about things that are trending, things that are popular in the creator economy. And so we're going to learn some things today. We're going to talk about monetizing your platform, but specifically how to make that transition from just doing brand deals to now having your own products, your own services, because a lot of times that is a big concern for people. So we're going to break down some tips that I would suggest that you use so that you can make the process as seamless as possible and still feel confident and excited about what you're putting out there, because having your own thing is just, it really is, y'all. I suggest anybody does it. And then we also are going to talk about Mary the Siren and what all went down with Chick-fil-A and why she is now promoting for Shake Shack. So, y'all, you was watching one of my old videos. Oh, yay, perfect timing. So I'm live on TikTok. I'm also live on YouTube. So if y'all see me looking off the screen at either time, it's because I'm like trying to go back and forth. So, y'all, Mary the Siren is an influencer. She really got popular on TikTok for doing videos for Chick-fil-A. And so in her videos, she would show you different recipes, different drinks, different food combinations to try at Chick-fil-A because she was a Chick-fil-A employee. So she was basically like the plug, right? Like she would show you different drink recipes. There was one drink that was really popular. She showed like three different ones and people was like running to Chick-fil-A to go and get those drinks. And so over the course of a few months, she had grown to like thousand, not that thousands, but like she's close to like 100,000 followers now, if she's not already at 100,000. And so she became really, really popular for giving people these different recipes for Chick-fil-A. Now, the only problem with that is that Chick-fil-A hit her up and they was basically like, you can't make content as a Chick-fil-A employee, especially in uniform. Like it was against their code of conduct for their employees. Cool, right? Like I get it. You trying not to make sure that if people are representing the brand, you don't want it to, go left. I completely understand that part of it, right? But here's where they fumbled the bag because at this point, she had gained like 50,000 followers on TikTok. And people were literally going because of her recommendations, right? And so she tried to negotiate with them and ask, well, is there a possibility of me being able to collaborate with you? Is there a way that we can, put something together to have some kind of brand deal going so that I can still represent Chick-fil-A because I have grown a nice size following promoting them, right? Chick-fil-A was basically like, nah, we're good. um, you can go ahead and make them chicken sandwiches though. And have a good day, have a blessed day, but we're not feeling it. What do they say when at Chick-fil-A when you leave? It's like my pleasure, but it wasn't their pleasure because they didn't want her there. I was trying to be clever, but that didn't work out. Anyway, basically they was like, nah, we're good. We don't want you to represent us. And they didn't give a reason why, but there are some assumptions of why they did not want her to represent the company, right? So she put out a video afterwards. Yeah, they fumble for real. So she put out a video after she had this conversation with them, letting everyone know that she was no longer going to make Chick-fil-A content. right? And so at the end of this video, she went through, she explained why she was no longer going to do it. She thanked her fans and her followers for, going along with her on this journey. And at the end of it, she said that she would like to, keep the ball rolling, and continue on and do reviews for other businesses, other restaurants. And so she kind of put that out there, like, now that I see that I'm good at this, I want to continue on with this and, make it something bigger. Right. So look, listen, Ebony, because this is where it gets petty. Okay. This is where it gets petty. Not even a week later, after she put out that video, Shake Shack pulled on up on your girl and said, yeah, so we want you to make content for us. Okay. So on the surface, Shake Shack and Chick-fil-A, I'm not saying they're necessarily beefing or nothing like that, with no pun intended, because they sell chicken. I'm not saying that they beefing or nothing, but the reason why this particular campaign was petty is because they had people putting up signs as a part of their advertisement saying, get more antibiotic, what is it? Get more antibiotic free chicken. Actually, let me bring up the picture, because this is the part. I'm gonna put this up on YouTube. These videos will be up on YouTube later too. I'll repost it so you can see the pictures. So y'all see that they made this whole campaign and they said eat more antibiotic free chicken. And they have people holding up these signs for these chicken sandwiches. And yes, they also they're promoting that you can get it on a Sunday. And I think that it also launched on a Sunday. So they're going like full on petty. And it almost felt like, and I don't know, obviously this had to be a campaign that they had in the works for a while, but the fact that like Chick-fil-A rejected Miri at the same point that they were launching this campaign, I feel like that was like that's not stuff that you can even make up. Like you can't even plan that. Like she was like the perfect representative for it. And I don't feel that, I honestly, if her motivation for doing this was to be petty back to Chick-fil-A, I feel like I could definitely understand that, because there were literally people making videos saying that they only went to Chick-fil-A today because Miri the Siren told them about this drink. And that's just not like, that's just publicity that you can't fabricate that stuff. And so the fact that they weren't even interested, they weren't willing to, make any kind of concessions or at least try something out and see what they could do together, they fumbled. They fumbled real bad. And so now this campaign is popping off, and I don't eat meat, so I'm not going to be able to try out the chicken sandwiches, but y'all definitely got to let me know how them chicken sandwiches taste from Shake Shack, because I'm super interested to see how they taste, especially in comparison. Like I would want to see a comparison. I don't know if she can do a comparison, if Miri the Siren can do a comparison, because of her brand deal. Like I don't know what the terms are, but that would be great content. If you're already a food creator, hey Kuma, if you're already a food creator, if you do food reviews or if you do anything of that nature, listen to me. Okay, listen to me. I need you to do a comparison of these chicken sandwiches. Okay. Because that, like, you'll be able to ride the wave of this already being a topic of conversation. So that's some content ideas for you. Somebody who's going to do the comparison, like, who's going to be that brave soul that's going to be like, okay, we finna try out these chicken sandwiches and see if these Shake Shack sandwiches are really hitting. Like, I need somebody to do that. That's free game right there. I can't do it because I don't even eat meat, but if I did, I would definitely be going out trying them sandwiches. I'd be trying them sandwiches just because. You made it. Oh, listen, I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna get into that topic. That man being in the woods with a man or a bear, that's it's such mm. Anyway, so I'll be praying for you. So y'all, this was I thought that this was so I'm so grateful that she made that transition. And so this is what made me excited about this topic this time around, because I see how my concern was with her, if she wanted to go the route of being a food reviewer, or if she wanted to go the route of being the one that like explores, new products that restaurants are putting out, new foods. Like I was thinking about how she cannot just be the Chick-fil-A girl. You know what I'm saying? And so, when we talked about this before the Shake Shack deal had all came out, I was like, man, I really hope that she's able to take this and go beyond just Chick-fil-A and find out what it is about her that people are so drawn to, because Chick-fil-A didn't make her. Chick-fil-A was just the the business that she collaborated with to a certain extent to help her to realize this talent that she has, this gift that she has. And so I'm grateful that she's already being offered an opportunity to take this beyond Chick-fil-A. And so I personally felt like, and y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. I personally felt like this was like a blessing in disguise, because if she had gotten a deal with Chick-fil-A, I feel like she would have been the Chick-fil-A girl. You know? Like she would have been a Chick-fil-A girl. And while it probably would have been lucrative and beneficial on both sides, I think that it's cool that she was able to see what she could do with one brand and then go from there and move beyond it. So I think that it's dope that they did say no, because it's kind of like that saying where they like, when one door closed, another door opens. It's literally that in real time. So I think that is dope. Like, I love the fact that she's doing that. And I hope that as more and more brands start to see this value that she has, that she'll be able to go even further, outside of just you being the known for even like just doing food reviews, if that's not what she wants to do moving forward. Like being able to transition it into something even bigger, because it's only a sign that she's capable of some amazing things, and it doesn't have to just be done one way. So I love that. And I felt like this would be the perfect opportunity to talk about how it feels when we're making that transition. Like, how is it when you realize, okay, there's something special about me. People are following me, they're liking my content, or maybe like you're at the stage where you're getting brand deals and you're seeing, okay, I'm building something here. Like people are really rocking with me. And I want to take what it is that I do, and I want to make it into something even bigger, or I want to take this and turn it into something that's my own. I don't want to just simply rely on brand deals. I want to take this and build my own business with this. I want to build my own product, or I want to have my own things going on. So, how do I take what I know that I can do? How do I take this community that I've built? How do I take this influence that I've gained and turn it into something that can last even further than this? Whether I get the brand deals or not, what does it look like for this to go further? And so I love that this is all coming together, because I'm noticing more and more creators are trying to figure out what that looks like. Like they have these questions. And the cool thing about this is that this is relevant whether you are a new creator or whether you're an established creator, because we all have very similar concerns and things that we're trying to do. And so one of the biggest things that I realize is like a question and a concern that comes up. Let me look at my notes. That comes up for creators is having like that transition for your audience. And so if you're not an established creator, but you've been creating, and maybe you started out your platform, but you weren't really promoting anything, you were just trying to make, trying to get those brand deals or trying to get UGC deals, whatever it is you were trying to do to kind of monetize, but your goal absolutely was not to do your own thing, right? This is going to be relevant regardless of which side of the spectrum you're on with that. And so this idea of being able to transition and take your audience with you, like you might be worried that, okay, well, if I start promoting my own stuff, are people going to unfollow me? Like, are they going to look at me and be like, girl, Mm, no, thanks. I just liked your outfits. I don't really want anything from you. Like you start to wonder, can I really take what I've built and start a new business with this, or do I got to start over? Like, do I got to do something completely separate because I don't want people to feel like uncomfortable with this shift? Or if I start promoting or selling my own things, are they going to look at me sideways or look at me crazy? Listen, y'all, this is not an uncommon feeling, okay? At me next time. I felt like look, I felt like this too. And so I'm going to break these points down by sharing like some of the things that I experienced because I had these same feelings, y'all. Like I did. And I told y'all in the beginning that I became an influencer by accident. Like I was not trying to be an influencer. I wasn't really trying to get brand deals. I was trying to promote my own product, right? But in me doing that, I shifted and pivoted so many times that I felt like people were gonna get like whiplash, and it was gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, you're doing too much. You need to settle down somewhere," because I can't keep up with all of these changes, right? That's how I felt. That was part of how I felt. But the biggest concern that I had was when I stopped doing like the fashion content because I had to put fashion down for a little bit and I started to promote this journal that I had created. And so my feelings that I had were, okay, if I start to promote this journal, if I start to talk about this journal, are people not going to be interested in it? Are they going to feel like this isn't something that I would want from you? I'm not even interested in buying this from you. Like I feel like you don't know what you're talking about. Like I had a lot of different concerns and fears when it came to like taking that leap and going into it. And so what I had to do was I had to demonstrate what it looked like to use the journal, and I had to show people the value of it and as an influencer. So I'm gonna tell y'all what that looks like. So there was I started off doing this journaling challenge for myself. I didn't invite nobody to it. This was just me. And so in my stories on Instagram, I would record myself writing in my journal every day. And y'all, I mean like every day. I did this for a couple of weeks. And so people started to get used to me talking about this journal, like just and simply just me writing in it. And so me demonstrating how it works and using it and kind of like integrating it into my everyday content was a way for me to like sell without it being salesy, but it also was showing people the value in me using the journal because some days I would just tell people what I learned from it, or what my revelation was, or what it helped me to do. And so it wasn't me sticking the journal up in the camera and saying, okay, buy this, even though I do have a very embarrassing TikTok where I did that. I'm not proud. I'm not proud of it. If I find it, I'll add it to this. I'll add it to this. But the trick to it, y'all, is to like gradually begin to introduce what it is that you want to offer to people. So it doesn't have to be this full blown, okay, this is the big launch, and you have not told anybody about this thing at all. That is jarring. And honestly, it's not the best way to promote anything. You don't want to do everything so privately that no one is able to follow you along on the journey. And so you really want to start to think about how can I begin to like, bring people into this, invite them into it, and position myself in a way where when I do begin to launch my thing, or when I do officially put it out there, people have already associated me with it. Another person, another influencer that did this is Jackie Ina with her perfume. So she had a couple of different stages to it. So hers was a little bit longer, especially because, like, the product development took some time, and shifting her image from just being beauty and makeup to being a lifestyle creator. And so I'm gonna try like as compact as possible. So first, she started to shift her image from being a makeup tutorial person to being a lifestyle person. She stopped making as much content only on YouTube, and she started to make more content on Instagram. Instagram was first, and then she came over to TikTok, and she started to showcase more of her life. And so she was bringing in different products. Like, before, you really didn't see anything outside of the room that she did her makeup in, but now you're seeing different pieces of her house, you're seeing the different things that she does, you're seeing the different outfits that she has. And so she started to open herself up to being more of a lifestyle brand than a makeup artist, right? Or a makeup influencer. Then you started to see her launch her Forever Mood candles, which again, like, is not necessarily makeup, but it's like kind of like positioning herself in a different space, in a different realm. Then she started to talk about other perfume brands and becoming associated with, like, those luxury scents. And this is the part where it was very, very strategic, and it was very particular, because although her perfume wasn't already out, her line wasn't already available, she was getting you used to associating her with luxury scents. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Like, she was starting to bring it together. So when she did launch her perfume line, it wasn't jarring. Like, it wasn't surprising. It was like, "Oh, yeah, I mean, she does. She has a nice perfume collection. She talks about the different scents that she wears when she does, like, her outfits of the day, or when she's going out, like, you see the scents that are included in it." And so, yes, she started to position herself in that space gradually. And so, as creators, we can do that same thing, even if it's not on that same scale. So if I wanted to start to make a transition into, let's say, skincare, right? Like, I wanted to position myself more so as a skincare person, because that's maybe the product that I want to launch. Or and I'll get into this a little bit later, maybe I want to collaborate with a business to create my own brand that's skincare related, right? So then I would start to do more, get unready with me type stuff, where you see me taking off my makeup for the day, or you see me, cleaning my skin at night. And then I'll start to talk about the products that I use more in my content, as opposed to, like, you only really saw me, talking in front of the camera and putting on clothes, but you never really know what I use on my skin. I would share my journey with my skin, and how I, struggled with acne for a while. And now I'm at a place where my skin is much clearer, and I know how to manage it. And maybe I'll throw in a little bit of fitness and nutrition in there, because all of that comes together with having healthy skin, right? I might show myself going on trips to estheticians. I might start doing more conversations and collaborations with other skincare influencers, beauty influencers. And so you'll see me start to align myself with those people, so then when I launch it, you're like, "Oh yeah, Jada been talking about skincare all this time. It makes sense that now she's collaborated with so and so to have a body oil, or a shimmer oil." You know what I'm saying? So that is how you start to get people comfortable with this idea of, "Oh yeah, this is where I'm going with this. This is where I want to go now." So there's not as much pressure on you to have, like, this major launch and then feel discouraged if people don't respond to it immediately. You know? So that's the first thing that I would say, is that you got to start to incorporate it into what you do more, and connect with people who are already established in it, connect with brands that are already established in it. Even if you had some brand deals that were with other products in the industry, that's okay too, because it's not all about you. It just shows that you're like positioning yourself into the community. So that would be the first thing that I would say. If even if you have an idea of what you're trying to build, this is something that you can start to incorporate now. If you know that you want to have a product, if you know that you want to have some kind of service and you're trying to monetize, then don't build everything in private. Like, people say, put your head down, work in secret. Okay. Okay, like, you can definitely go that route, but it will definitely take you a lot longer to be able to establish like that connection and for people to start to see you in that way. So you can start to do the work now. All right? So, the second question that comes up is, what if my audience isn't interested? Okay. And so this is one where I think it definitely can be a hindrance for people. Like, they'll start feeling like, I don't think people care about this. I talked about it and nobody was interested. Nobody commented on it. It didn't feel like this was, really doing any numbers. And so this is where you want to start to really hone into those abilities that you have as a creator, as an influencer, to connect with your audience. So, if you're not somebody who goes live, or if you're not somebody who responds to people in your comment section, if you're not somebody who has conversations with other people in your city or in your area, this is where you want to start to become that person. Okay. You want to start to become that person that really talks to and listens to your community, because I'm going to say this way. They're not the ones who create the product for you or create the idea, but they can help you to determine how you want to package it. Okay. So if I knew that I wanted to have, let's go back to the skincare thing. I know that I want to have a skincare line, right? Like, that's just a non-negotiable. I'm going to have some type of skincare thing going on. But maybe in conversation with people, I can know what type of product to start with first. Maybe if people are always asking me, how do I get my skin so clear, or why does it always look so glossy or hydrated, maybe I could start with a moisturizer or a serum or something that, brightens the complexion. And that can be the thing that I take what I already want to do with the feedback that I'm getting from my community, and that's how we like kind of like collaborate together to create this product, right? And that's technically market research. Now, you'll hear people talk about this when it comes to product development, and when it comes to marketing and running a business, they'll tell you that you need to have market research. And so for me, especially as a creative, I don't like to think of it that it's not that deep. It's like so easy if you're just listening to people and you're asking them questions. It's really simple. Like, the market research doesn't have to be that complicated. So if you're somebody who's good at listening, and they call it, it's like, there's people who literally do this, social listening, seeing what's being mentioned when the brand's being mentioned, what questions and concerns that people have, what things they're saying. Like, if you just get used to having that type of engagement and asking people more questions and listening to them and talking to them, you're going to be able to naturally do this market research. And so you just have to keep in mind, okay, this is what I keep hearing. This is what people keep saying. This is the type of response I'm getting when I discuss these particular topics, right? And so that can help inform your decision in what you decide to put out there, what you decide to put out first, maybe. And so this is a really important part in it. The other thing is that you want to, again, include people in the process. And I just cannot stress this enough. I really am not a fan of people saying, just put your head down, move in silent, don't let nobody know your moves. You're gonna be doing a whole lot by yourself. And you're putting so much pressure on yourself to make the perfect thing out the gate. And You don't have any idea what people might be able to help you with. You don't know what people can support you with it. You don't know what ideas might come to your mind as you let people in on the process of it. And even if this is not something that you're doing publicly, you should have people that know what you're doing. It bothers you too, Kayla? Like, yeah, like I just don't I just it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me because anytime I've put something out there, I have always included somebody in the process. And it was very evident when I didn't because I launched 2 crickets, okay? Crickets. So, I really need y'all to have, gotta change it back to my girl. I really need y'all to have this understanding that you can collaborate and build things with your community. And you can do this in fun ways. Like maybe you're not telling everybody all the intimate details. That's not what I'm telling you to do. But maybe you let people know, okay, y'all, I'm working on something special, right? You don't have to give any of the extra details. I'm working on something special and I need to know what color just makes you feel sexy? Like, let's just say you're working on something real cute for the girls. Maybe we're talking about something like fashion related, right? What makes you feel sexy? What makes you feel good? And you're asking for people's feedback on that. You're not literally telling them all the intimate details of your business. You're not giving them everything that they're looking for, but you are including them in the process. You're giving them something to be excited about and you're getting their feedback on it, right? You're bringing them into what it is that you're building. That's a very simple thing to do. So if as you are building and as you are considering this transition, start early and bring people in and ask like what they're looking for, what they're thinking. One way that I did this is I when I was launching Getting Unshy, I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't know what it was gonna be at all. The only thing that I knew that Getting Unshy is I understood where it came from, and that was it. The term actually came up when I was talking, I made a TikTok and someone came into my live one day and they were telling me that they really liked that video that I put out about being shy. And so I when they said that, I was like, "Oh, well, it didn't like go viral or nothing like that." So I didn't really think that it was a video that people was rocking with for real. And I was wrong. Okay? I was so wrong. And when she started to ask me more questions and she started to tell me how it was like how she felt about it and her experience with it, that was when it clicked for me. Oh man, this is a thing. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's a thing. So I didn't know if I wanted it to be a master class. I didn't know if I wanted it to be a program. I didn't know if I wanted it to just be, a one-off conversation because I fully expected it to just be like me doing one thing, one live or whatever, and then that was going to be the end of it. But then people kept resonating with it. And so as I was thinking through what I wanted it to be, I was asking people questions. I was like, okay, well, what would you prefer? You think that you would like a master class where I just teach it one time and you can come in and ask me questions? Or do you feel like this should be a course or maybe should it be a membership? Like, I was asking people what they felt like they would need, right? But they weren't the ones telling me whether or not I should do anything with it. I was simply asking for more of like a collaboration on the development of it. But it was fully created, y'all, like in public. Like, I didn't do it in secret. When I was working on the workbook, I told people I was working on the workbook. When I made it into a master class, I told people, okay, I'm gonna go the master class route. Now, okay, I didn't really feel like the master class was enough. And so now I want to transition to this being a collective. And then that was when that conversation started to come up. But all of this was stuff that I built in collaboration with the people I wanted to serve, right? So as you are creating these products, as you're creating these services and you're looking to figure out how to best monetize it, or not even monetize it, but how to best like put it together, what makes the most sense, you should absolutely do that in collaboration, and then have the things that are hard set, because I don't want this to become something where like everybody else's opinion takes over, because it's still your thing, it's still your business, it's still your brand. But it does help to have that like feedback and that energy to feed off of, to really help to get you to a place where you can be as creative as possible with it, right? So that's the second thing. Now the third part is the part that makes me the most excited, because this is the one where you can really get creative with how you decide that you are going to how you're going to like put this out there. So one of the last questions is that people have, or the concerns that they have, is how do I handle the added responsibilities of running a business, right? If I'm going to have a product, like who's taking care of the shipment, who's doing all the fulfillment, who is managing the customer service. Like there are certain aspects to running a business that you as an influencer, you as a content creator, you may not necessarily be interested in that part. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to be responsible for all those different things. There are options that we have where we can be the ones that create the thing, right? Or we can be the visionary for it, but we can have other people responsible who are maybe better at it than we are. Who most likely they're better. Let me not even front. They're probably better at it than we are at managing things and making sure that it runs efficiently. And so this is where like collaboration really, really can play a critical role, right? So one of the traditional ways to do it is to go through like a third party. So that's people who produce it and distribute it for you, whether that's like Amazon with their books. If you do KDP, which is what I ended up doing, you don't have to be responsible for fulfillment, for shipping, for production. All of that is taken care of by Amazon, right? Or if I wanted to go the route of merchandise, then I can have people who I can work with, like Printify or the other ones I can't think of off the top of my head, but they're the ones that produce it and they send it out for you. So they're handling that. You can just be the face, you can be the representative, you can be the visionary, but you don't have to be the one that's literally making the products. Now if that's something that you prefer to do, that's a whole other topic, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit, but if that's what you prefer, I might make that a separate live. You're an associate? Oh, Kayla, that's good to know. I'm gonna check in with you on that. um Yeah, so if you wanna go, if you wanna fulfill it yourself, that's a whole other route, which I am gonna touch on, but I think that that needs its own video. But let's just say that you don't wanna go that route right now. Maybe you wanna be more of the front facing and you wanna be able to have other people handle the parts that you're not great at, right? Another thing that you can do that I'm not seeing as much as I feel like we could, is having collaborations with other businesses. And I'm not talking about brand deals, y'all. I'm talking about collaborations where you have a say in how things are run in the business. So I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this idea for a while, but when you think about people like how Target has those collaborations that they've been doing with like Tabitha Brown, how Amazon has the collaboration with the fashion influencers, and so they have the drop, right? That like that's the type of collaborations that can be done even on a smaller scale. So if you had a business that produced a certain type of product that you like, then what does it look like for you to maybe collaborate with that business and develop a product together that they can then distribute and manufacture, and you're the one that's promoting this thing. Not only does that help you because you're still going to get your split, you're still going to get your commission, as not a commission, you're going to get your split because it's not a necessarily an affiliate. It can be set up as an affiliate, but you're getting your split, right? Then they're getting their split to make sure that they're still profitable and able to continue to run their business. And so it can be, you can still operate as the influencer in a sense, the content creator, the face of this product, but you're not responsible for the manufacturing and the distributing. And so if I was thinking about this on a smaller scale, I would think about the products that I enjoy, that I like, and I would start to make those relationships with those businesses now. Like, what does it look like for you to reach out to somebody who maybe makes, like, your favorite body oil or your favorite scent, or people who maybe make a certain type of food that you like, or even an event, so, a certain type of event. Hey, Blam fam. So even certain types of events that maybe you want to coordinate and collaborate with that brand to help to bring some new faces to this event, and y'all can split it that way. And so having these collaborations where you're almost operating like a partner. Mhm. Yeah. Like, you're operating as a partner, but you're not you're still we're still able to be in the element, in the space that you thrive in the most. And so I'm personally, if y'all can't tell, I'm a little bit more partial to the somebody else make it and I talk about it. And I think that the reason why I'm leaning in so heavily to that is because I'm realizing where I thrive, and I really do shine in being the voice and being the face of a thing. And so if that's where I'm the most efficient, then me trying to manufacture and me trying to make the things is not as beneficial for me, because that's not where I thrive. But that takes time, right? So if I'm able to have these types of partnerships where if that's what they prefer and that's what they're good at, that's perfect, because then I can help bring more business to this. And because I'm operating as a partner and not just as an influencer, then we can really make some things shake together, right? And it can end up being something that's ongoing, long lasting. So these are all options that you can have if you're thinking, okay, I want to get into having my own thing. I don't want to just rely on brand deals, but I need some options for what it looks like to be able to make that happen. So what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think? Let me know over here in TikTok land. I've been thinking about reaching out to a podcast to create affirmation cards for them. Oh, that would be nice. That's why I could never get into drop shipping. Yeah, me and drop shipping, we got a funny relationship. We got a funny relationship. Hey, Don. Hey, Carrie. So yeah, y'all, those are my tips. Those are the things that I see coming up a lot as creators. And I'm always gonna help y'all figure out what it looks like to have something of your own, because that's just the way to go for me. I've always operated that way. I've never felt like I just want to go in, like I'm just an influencer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just an influencer. I really am an entrepreneur. I really am running a business. And so figuring out where I can turn that into something that is mine has always been a dream for me. And I feel like it's possible for any creator, because we all excel in certain things, but for a lot of us we kind of fall into that trap of, well, I'm just gonna, do this because this is what I see happening, or this is what I only feel like I can do. Like, you may not say I'm only an influencer, but like that's what your actions are given. You know what I'm saying? So finding out what it is about you that makes you special, finding out what it is about you that people gravitate towards, finding out where you excel, and figuring out how can I make this something of my own. So yeah, and then you still got the brand deals, you still got the collaborations, and the thing that they don't tell you is that that kind of stuff makes you so appealing to brands, because you're creating your own communities. You're creating your own spaces when you do that. And so, and I'll talk about this in another video, but I'll give y'all like quick a little quick snippet of this. The brands are really going to start to lean into the places, the people, the businesses, the creators who already have an established community. And and I'm when I say established, I don't just mean numbers. I mean like people are engaged, people are really rocking with you. They follow you across platforms, or you have the ability to host something in person and people show up for it. Like those are the kinds of things that are going to start to be more appealing to brands than just the numbers. Okay. Like it may not feel like it right now because there are still so many creators who are really making money off of their following size. But even with all of the uncertainty and things that are going on with TikTok and this possible force to sell, there's a lot that is up in the air. And so your ability to be able to take that beyond just one platform or to beyond brand deals is going to be so critical. It's going to be so critical. So I'm going to talk about that in another video though, because I feel like that deserves some more information and some more details, because I really want to get into engagement more and how to build an engaged community and what it looks like when you're doing this well, because that's going to be the key for people to be able to move across platforms and not just stay in one place. But that's it, y'all. So I am so appreciative for y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I'm gonna stay on TikTok for a little bit longer, so y'all hold on. But here on YouTube, I'm gonna go ahead and click off of here, and I'll make sure I add all the extra clips and stuff that I said I was gonna put in there later. But yeah, y'all have an amazing day, and I will talk to y'all later. All right.